Synthaholics.
Welcome to Synthaholics. Thank you so much for downloading this episode. Today you have myself, Aaron O'Brien, and David Duncan. Hello, Dave.
Hello, how's it going?
Good. Today we are now on to Dune. We're in book 3, almost at the very end, chapter 42 and 43. And this, we get Paul riding a worm. We get Paul finding an old friend, and then possibly a standoff with Stillgar.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, so
too bad Paul wasn't named after a tit mouse. I mean, a tit bird. Like, you can be calling me Tit.
You can call me Titmouse.
Titmouse.
Anyways, yeah. So Paul is just waiting out there in the sands to get picked up by a worm, like a bus. He's at the bus stop for worms.
The worm stop.
The worm stop.
Does this make your worm willy?
Does this make your worm long and twisty?
Ooh, like a corkscrew.
Buried in the dirt. Buried in the dirt. Yeah. So Paul is, we started him like seeing the gigantic worm coming towards him, and how he mounts the worm. Dave,
that's just so kinky.
It is, yeah. And then
just like Duncan Idaho taught him.
That's right. So
and Dr.
he gets onto the worm, and then he gets the rest of the fremen that is with them that were hiding off in the distance to jump on. And they kind of do this. They control the worm by like peeling back the segments with these hooks, and then the worm will roll so it doesn't get like sand and stuff inside the segment. So
it gets itchy. I mean, come on. Why would you want
sand gets everywhere in all your cracks,
in all your naughty bits?
So Paul wants to head south, and he wants to see basically his new son, Leto II, and so he wants to head down there. But while they're heading there, first of all, it's kind of weird. There's this weird like dynamic between Stillgar and Paul. Paul knows that like people are kind of worshiping him like a messiah god kind of thing, and Stillgar is just trying to teach him how to do the basic fremen stuff.
And sooner or later, Paul's going to have to murder him, because that's how ascension works. It's very like Roman Empire-esque or Klingon-esque. Well, we just murder the captain, and then you become captain, right?
That's how it goes. It's like the Terran Empire.
Or the Terran Empire, yeah.
So Paul wants to head south to see his family, but then Stillgar is like, the men want to attack the Harkonnens, and Paul's like, oh, we're going to head south. And then Stillgar says that he should go to the Cave of Birds. But
the titmouse.
Paul, yeah. So, anyways, from there, all of a sudden, we realize now Stillgar is noticing that the people that are like there, the Fremen, are like almost like worshiping Paul, like he is like the guy.
It's like almost like staying alive is making this prophecy that I'm scared of happening come to pass.
Yeah. So from this is he realized that there might be an issue. Like he's like, oh my God, we're gonna have to fight, and he's gonna like. Stillgar knows that because Paul knows the weirding way that he probably will kill him. So I don't know how far they've gone with training everybody with the weirding way and fighting. So
they didn't really mention that so much in the book. Like in the movie, it's very specific. He's like, "I'll teach 100 people."
Well, the movie,
they'll teach 1,000.
The movie's different.
Yeah.
But they're supposed to. He's supposed to teach. I mean, Jessica and Paul are supposed to teach the people the weirding ways so they could be like unstoppable, the Fremen. But this is when they see an ornithopter start flying, and so the Fremen all jump off the worm and they kind of like hide in the sand. And then they realize that this ornithopter is not Harkonnen but smugglers. So Paul and Stillgar are going to go and basically get the smugglers out of their territory, and so they're going to get a set a trap for them. And this is where we go to our next chapter, and this is where we get the reunion. We see Gurney Halleck again, and he's with his troop of smugglers that we saw that he joined some time ago.
Man, he's got his harp. He's playing Wet Ass Pussy some more. It's great.
Whap, whap.
Whap, whap. The smugglers are thinking about killing him because that's the only song he knows.
Dude, you gotta learn another song. Like, what about Dust in the Wind? Can we do that one?
That's too on the nose for Arrakis. I mean, come on. We gotta talk about things that are opposite of dry and sandy.
Yeah, so as Admiral Akbar says, it's a trap. And they get caught into the trap with the Fremen, and basically their ornithopter shot down by rockets. And then Gurney goes to fight the Fremen, but then says that he has to put his weapon away because one of the Fremen there is Paul Atreides. And Gurney tells all the smugglers to stand down, don't fight, and that, obviously there was a mistake, and because somebody says this is a mistake, they didn't mean to kill it, and they killed a bunch of our friends there, Gurney. So one of the guys on the smugglers say in the background, which I thought was funny. So Paul then introduces Gurney to Stillgar, and
this is my friend who will murder very, very soon.
He's like, Stillgar's like, I've heard of you. Paul's talked about how good you are with, playing the instruments. So, and
your tales of Wet Ass Pussy has been heard long and far.
You know the song WAP. And the smuggler's like, oh no,
oh no,
not again. So Paul then apologizes to the other smugglers that they killed all those guys.
Our bad. We didn't mean to.
But you guys are kind of trespassing on our land. And they're like, dude, we didn't see any signs, dude.
This land is our land.
This land's not your land. So Gurney then basically says that he is that he's going to be he'll serve with Paul. Like, of course I'm with you. I just didn't know you were alive this whole time. So Gurney's welcome back to Paul, and this is where we come into a big wind was coming, like a storm was coming in, and they had to all hide. So that was one of the things they had to do. So they had to go into the cave. So they go to the cave of birds, and then this is where Gurney finds out that Paul is Muad'Dib, that everyone's talking about.
So he's like, Muad'Dib?
It's like, oh, that's why everyone's. He's so good at everything because it's all the stuff I taught you.
I thought I taught Muad'Dib somehow.
So, but when Paul and Gurney are talking quietly to themselves, they find out that they have Sardaukar warriors in the smugglers that have infiltrated the smugglers, and the Fremen are basically have rounded them up and is going to kill them. And then Paul talks to the Sardaukar captain and tells them that he's Muad'Dib, Paul Atreides, and then he wants to let him go and let him go tell the Emperor that he's alive.
Let's start a fight, please. But the one of the other Sardaukar guys takes his knife and tries to get Paul, because they've got hidden knives all over them. They're kind of like the Klingons, and how you can put them in jail, but their clothes will somehow put together a phaser.
Right. And then so he just wants to say let the Sardaukar captain go because they killed out the other two ones when they were fighting with him. So there was 3 altogether. So, and then we get into Stillgar and Paul basically.
The captain kills one of the guys though, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. But then we find out that Stillgar is like, oh, now you're taking over control of everything, so you have to kill me. And then they said something like, do you think I wish to cut off my right arm?
We will work a plan around this.
We don't have to kill each other, Stillgar. We can work with each other. So, anyways, and this is where
and argue about who killed who.
Who killed who? So, and then we get Gurney goes to they're gonna go meet up with Paul's mom Jessica, and then Gurney's like, that lying witch.
I'm gonna kill her.
Betrayed everybody. I'm gonna kill her. You know, so he doesn't know that obviously that Dr. Yui was the traitor.
The traitor. So. This traitor will be worth more to me than 10 legions of Sardaukar.
Yes. So, that wraps up there. I mean, it was kind of a transition. It's nice to see Gurney Halleck back. Dave, what'd you think? Anything to say about these 2 chapters?
They were fun, like the worm writing parts. I was actually hoping there'd be a little bit more than the movie. Mm-hmm. But actually, there was kind of a little bit less than there was in the movie.
Yeah, the movie was more. There was more. There's more, chord, rock chords being played while they in the movies.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, it's just like in the places where I thought the book would be expanded, the book is actually contracted compared to the movie, and then some other places, and vice versa. It's really kind of strange that, like. But I guess it kind of goes back to what I was saying, like way back in like the first couple of chapters, where Frank Herbert kind of writes like a playwright, where he's like more interested in the dialogue and a lot less interested in what's happening around.
Yeah, right.
So like I guess that's where like the creative liberty with the movie comes. It's just like, well, this is what they're talking about, so we can show how we interpret that to happen based on what they're talking about. Whereas Frank Herbert doesn't give you a ton of action in the book itself, which is interesting way of doing it. Just you're just understanding what's happening based on like the dialogue. Very playwright like, which is an interesting way to do it.
Yeah, it doesn't unless he's talking about landscapes.
Oh yes.
He doesn't get into like how a character looks or how they feel or he just kind of just like.
Except the blue with the blue eyes. That's about as far as it goes. It's like, well, I like people with blue eyes.
Sometimes the clothes, he'll talk about the clothes. But, I mean, it's very, very...
very quick.
Very, like, yeah. Yeah, I agree. The worm ride was very quick. It didn't last very long.
Definitely good to see Gurney back, like you were saying.
Good to have Gurney back. I mean, I'm sorry, I just cannot picture Gurney without thinking Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, I know. Of the movie. Even though they always say like he's like this ugly, horrifying, ugly man. Yeah, and exactly. Then they also have Josh Brolin playing him in the new movie, also not an ugly man. I mean, he's kind of ugly when he was Thanos, but I mean,
but they made him look like that.
He had CGI help for that. I mean, even as Cable in Deadpool, he had the scar and stuff. He's still like a rugged, handsome man. So it's just like, well, yeah, it's very strange.
I know. I was actually.
They should have cast Danny DeVito as Gurney.
Funny. But he's still dressed as the Penguin from Batman 2.
Exactly.
Quack, quack, quack. I was thinking about the movie Dune because Patrick Stewart's in it, but I also was thinking the 1981 movie Excalibur. Patrick Stewart's in that too.
Yeah.
And, like, you see him, you're like, holy shit, that's Patrick Stewart. Like, it's like, that guy's been in movies forever.
Yeah, he has. Long time.
Long time going.
He's also in Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Well, yeah, that's a little later. But
can't forget that.
I don't know. So Dune, obviously we're connecting the muscle to the bones here and like how the rest of the story is going to shape up. Obviously, Paul is now officially a Fremen man for riding the worm and taking control of that.
Get that worm ridden. Now he's letting the Emperor know that he's still alive so they can have a showdown.
and
And
then
it's just gonna come to that showdown real quick because there's not a whole lot of the book left.
No, we're just about at the end of it right now. Yeah,
and it's just gonna come to a head real quick.
And then and then we get to see Gurney back, so that was cool. So
I hear Baron Vladimir Harkonnen's death isn't nearly as elaborate in the book as it was in the movie.
Yeah, I don't think it is either. No,
he like flies around like a lunatic or whatever in the movie.
Yeah, that was a little weird, and it was so bad how they did it. They did so terribly. So yeah, so good stuff. I can't wait to get these next couple chapters. I mean, I think we're only a couple more episodes away and finished. Yeah, we're 3 episodes in this book. Our book review will be done of this, the first book of Dune.
Yeah, and we were talking a couple weeks ago. We'll probably take, I don't know if we said it on air, but we'll probably take a break after Dune, and let us know if you like the book club series, if it's something you want us to continue or not.
Yeah, or maybe there's a book that you would like us to read, or maybe that would be something we could look into as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so guys, if you have different thoughts, if you want to say something else that we might have missed, please hit us up. You can email us at synthaholics@yahoo.com. You can also go to our Facebook page, Facebook.com/groups/Synthaholics, and you can talk to us there. Or you can also just hit us up on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is Synthaholics Duo. And tweet us there. And if this show is something you want to support, please go to our Patreon.com/Synthaholics. So, okay, Dave.
Absolutely.
We've rode that worm.
All the way to the south, apparently. Until we shut down the ornithopter.
The South Pole.
South Pole. We got the rednecks. We're on the back of the worm shooting guns.
Yeehaw!
Yeah!
All high on spice.
There's no other way to ride a worm.
Right. All right, well, guys, until next week, let the spice flow.
No.
See you later.
Well,